Thanks for joining me on the Peace and Parenting podcast. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the Peace and Parenting podcast. I'm Michelle. I'm back again all by myself. I like kind of doing these by myself. It's like my own special diary of some sort. It's a voice diary. Do they have that? Yeah. Here is a podcast review that someone says, a huge asset to parenting. Michelle is a true gem. Wow. Her insights and candor are unparalleled. Don't miss an opportunity to add a new tool to your parenting tool belt. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. Thank you for leaving me these reviews. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you to all the people out there who are our clients. Thank you to all the people out there who've read the book, who listen to the podcast, who interact on Instagram with us, just everyone. I am so grateful for you all for giving me this opportunity to have a platform to be able to share my experiences and what I've learned and what I've learned from many of you. So thank you for also being my teacher. I've had a lot of great teachers along the way, and I think it's, most of the people who I've encountered have taught me a lot. All right. I want to talk about this idea that parenting with connection is for neurodivergent kids. It just is. And a lot of folks tell me, well, connected parenting is good for, kids who are neurotypical, but it is not good for kids who are neurodiverse. And I push back on that a lot. And I always say, why? And they'll say, because they don't have executive functioning skills. Okay. But why does connected parenting not work with kids who don't have very good executive functioning skills? And some kids who are not ADHD also don't have good executive functioning skills. So why is it that connection doesn't work for those kids? And they'll say, well, you have to motivate them with rewards and punishments so that, they can learn to do tasks and they can learn to have skills. But two things, I don't believe that's the way in which kids learn skills. And two, I believe there's lots of other ways to teach kids skills besides punishments and rewards. And usually with neurodivergent kids, many of the protocols are rewards based. And then they sprinkle in a little punishment, if a kid is really having a hard time, they try to reserve the punishment, which I appreciate, I guess, to, the really hard behaviors. But I'd say that kids with neurodivergence or kids with any sort of diagnosis or kids that are struggling in any way, any child, they love connection. They want connection. We all want connection. We want to be connected to our caregivers. We want to be connected to the people around us. And that parenting is not an endeavor in compliance. And that's essentially what everyone's saying, is that ADHD kids have to comply. Neurodivergent kids need to comply. Kids on the spectrum need to comply. Autistic kids need to comply. And the only way we can get them to comply and fit in the little box is by making them feel bad or by manipulating them, by giving them a reward to motivate their behavior, because we can't figure out how else to motivate their behavior. But we can use other methods to motivate behavior, and that's connection. Even my parents of kids with ODD, I've got a few, and they do really well with connection because ODD kids, they just say no, right? Whatever you say, they say no. But what I find is when you start using connection with them, you get more yeses. Are they still hard to parent? Yes, 100%. But giving them rewards isn't going to make them easier to parent long-term either. It can exacerbate their defiance, their ODD. It can exacerbate their ADHD. It can exacerbate the already existing, symptoms that they have. It can exacerbate those. And in doing so, we can create more problems. So I really am so sick of everyone saying that kids with high executive functioning troubles have to have manipulations. I just don't believe that to be true. And I'm not going to accept that. And I am going to champion this idea that I believe connection is one of the only ways to parent kids who are neurodivergent in all neurodivergence. Is it perfect? No. Is parenting perfect? No. Is parenting kids who are struggling perfect? No. You're still going to have your ODD kid is still going to be ODD. My strong willed kid is still strong willed. My compliant kid is still compliant. My whatever kid is still my kid. You can't change temperament and you can't change a child. And they shouldn't have to fit in a box in order to be successful in this world. And they shouldn't have to be manipulated in order to live in this world. Would you want to be manipulated? Do you want to be rewarded and punished at every turn and then be told you're ADHD, you need medication, you need to do this, or we're not going to give you the reward, or you're not going to do that, we're going to punish you? Like, do you want to live like that? I don't. And I don't want our kids living like that. And they don't need to live like that. And I get it. I so get it. Our society has told us this is the way you treat kids who are neurodivergent. This is what you do to help them do better. But I think it's wrong. I really think it's wrong. And I think our goals are wrong. Our goals are not to get them to clean their room. Our goals are to get them to feel good so that maybe they want to clean their room. And if they don't want to clean their room, how can we help them get there? Or how can we let it go to say, you don't need to clean your room. It's okay. We're going to stick to the things that we need to get done. And maybe your room will get so bad that you will be bothered by it. And is that okay? We're so not okay with kids not being in the box. We're not okay if they can't sit at the desk all day long. It's too much to ask. Why are we asking our kids to sit at a desk all day long? I mean, I'm doing it to my kids too, and I don't think it's okay. My kids conform, they went into the box unwantingly, but they just got shoved in there and they did it. I don't like it. I really don't. And my Esme, I don't know. She might have ADHD. She's fully functioning on all levels, but she might very well have it. And she's really balked against, conforming to school. She really doesn't like it. She's done well though. She's succeeded and done well. So there was no need for intervention, but I really believe and I wish I would have done it differently. I wish I would have probably homeschooled my kids or done some sort of co-op or done something differently. I just didn't have the wherewithal to do it. I wasn't functioning well enough back then to do it. Even now, I don't know if I'm equipped to do it, but that's beside the point. The point is, I've seen such success with children who have ADHD, ODD, autism, all kinds of different diagnoses. I've seen such success with those kids when they have parents who use connection. Because also many of these kids, many kids are sensitive and they don't want to be manipulated and they don't want to be, cajoled, and they don't want to feel loved conditionally. And I really think that makes kids feel loved conditionally. You're approved if you do what I say, and I'm going to give you the reward. And so I'm giving you the reward when you're good, and I'm not going to give you the reward when you're bad. I might give you the punishment when you're bad, but I'm not giving you the reward. And so then what does that tell a kid that we feel about them? We feel that they're good when they're being good and that they're bad when they're being bad. But shouldn't the kid just feel like they're always good? That we always believe they're good if they feel like they're bad. And if we allow them to sit in their upsets and their wrongdoings, that helps them move their behavior. But we never have to feel that they're bad or think that what they've done is bad. And I think the rewards and punishments really do that for kids who are neurodivergent. They're sensitive, sweet kids. They're having a hard time. They're already been told, here's your label. Here are your meds. here's here's the protocol we need to use with you because you're different and you're harder and it's difficult and harder for us. And some of that is okay, right? It is difficult and hard. And I get it. It's difficult and hard to have a kid who doesn't fit in the box because everyone's telling us to get kids to fit in the box. And I wish we didn't all want our kids to fit in the box, but I think we want that because society has told us that's what we have to have. So if you don't use connection and you have a kid who is neurodivergent or on the spectrum or anything really, try connection. It works because all of us want to be connected to each other and especially to the people that we love the most. And when we feel connected to the people we love the most, we do better. And our prefrontal cortex, our reasoning brain, where the executive functioning is, works better. Now, some of us have better executive functioning than others. That won't change, but at least we get some of it to work because we all have some of it, right? And if we feel connected, then our brain stays online. And if our brain stays online, we're more apt to use it, the reasoning part of it. So keep that in mind too. Like we want, if we're using rewards and punishments, does that really take away from the executive functioning that our kids do have for all kids? So I'd say try it in if you're questioning it or if you want to go deeper or if you're thinking, oh, I don't know, I'd book an appointment with us. Talk to myself or one of our consultants and like really dive into this idea. We've got lots of people in our group coaching program with kids who have all different diagnoses. And we have lots of clients who have a breadth of all different kids. We've seen so many. And I think we can help you if you're not getting the help that you need. All right. Thank you for joining me on the Peace and Parenting podcast. I hope this was helpful and I will see y'all next time.